Hi there, I'm Sarah from Pilates, which is all about slow movement for a balanced body. Now, before you do any Pilates exercise routine, or actually I would say any exercise routine, it's always good to start from a neutral positioning. And that just means that your body is perfectly aligned and it's the way it should be, so that when you start exercising, you're going to build muscle in the right way and in the right position. So the opposite, if you wouldn't do that, which a very common thing is, for instance, to round the shoulders, and if you then start exercising in this position, all you're going to do is actually build muscle on top of that, on top of your shoulder, which is going to then aggravate the issue. So it is good to always make sure you start from the perfect alignment. And then the second thing we're going to focus on is your breathing. It's just also really important to get the abdominal pressure inside your core that we're looking for. Now, to get yourself into that position, I want you to spread your feet out, hip width apart, and just start moving to the front and to the back. And actually make the movement smaller as you go along. And what you're looking for is a nice heavy feeling. You're sturdy and then slightly bend in the knee, and then you stop where you feel very sturdy on your feet. Imagine that you are on a bus and that you can't hold on. Then automatically you would actually be spreading out your weight over your feet, and you would be making yourself nice and heavy and steady, and you would slightly bend your knees. So that's exactly what you're doing. And then from here I want you to tilt your pelvis, and I'll show you. So if you have your hip bones here, you're just starting to tilt to the front and to the back. Now, having a neutral pelvis is very important, and if you slouch, it's probably a little bit hard to find that perfect position. And imagine that your pelvis, which is sort of the triangle shape that you have there, is filled with water, and you would be spilling it to the front and to the back. Then with every tilt you make it smaller, and you aim to get the water still with no ripples. And then if you're a bit more advanced, then actually your hip bones are pointing straight to the front. That's a good indication. You've created a bit of space in your lower back that way, and I want you to take that space all the way up. So imagine that somebody is pulling you up with a string, and then I want you to have a nice opening in the shoulders by doing a rotation, squeezing the shoulder blades together and holding that tennis ball just between the shoulder blades there. Now, a lot of people, that when they start opening their chest, they open up their abdominals and they're hyperextending here. So you have to keep everything else in line. And then from here you take your chin parallel with the floor and tuck your chin in slightly so that you have a nice alignment in the neck as well. So when you're in that position, you're perfectly aligned, and then we're going over into the breathing. Breathing is really key in Pilates, and actually I would say it's the breathing you can take again into any other exercise you're doing. Now, place your hands on your lower rib cage, fingertips touch in the middle. We're going over into your breathing. Now breathe into the palms of the hands, which means that your fingertips come apart naturally. On the out breath, they will join together again. So it's a breath that goes wide into the ribcage rather than into the belly. So a yoga breath often goes into the belly. This is different. It may take you a few goes to just get your head around it, but it will become second nature, trust me. Then, that's just the in-breath. On the out-breath, I want you to take your hands onto the belly button there, and I'll show you how it stands. So you breathe into the palms here. On the out-breath, you pull into the body. That's it. So your belly button moves into the body towards the spine and away from the hands. So from experience, I know that some people have got this straight away and other people find it quite hard to connect with that particular muscle. So don't forget that having your hand there is a great aid to connect, even when you're doing exercises. That could be a good way for you to help you connect with that muscle. And if you're a bit more advanced, then I want you to focus on your pelvic floor. Imagine that you have to go to the toilet and there's no toilet around, so you're holding it. Then I want you to imagine that you're pulling that muscle towards your belly button and then slightly let go on the in-breath. That's all it is. So of course on the out-breath there's a lot going on because you're pulling in your abdominals into the body, you're lifting your pelvic floor, and then of course you're breathing in the right way, so your diaphragm is in the right position there and your spine is nice and neutral, and which means that you have to engage your stabilizing muscles in the spine as well. So the pressure comes from here it comes from here. With the breathing, you have your diaphragm in the right position, and if you keep your spine nice and straight and in the right neutral position, you've got some pressure in your back as well, and that creates that inter-abdominal pressure, which is actually your core strength. So once you have your core contraction right and you've got your breathing right, you're ready to go. So check out our other videos and see if there's anything you'd like to try out, and I'll see you there. Bye.